If you've ever heard a delay that feels less like an echo and more like a space forming around the sound, that's usually stacked delays. Multiple delay lines feeding into each other, shaping the repeats into motion, depth, and texture. So in this quick tip video, I'm gonna show you how to build that sound on purpose. We'll start with just one delay and then gradually introduce more delays, and I'll show you where it crosses from cool repeats into a full-on environment. We'll cover timing relationships, filtering the feedback so it blooms instead of blowing up, and then how to add movement without turning the mix into mush. And the best part is that you can do this with whatever delays you already own. So by the end, you'll have a repeatable method for creating stacked delays that feel wide, deep, and intentional. Anyway, thanks for being here, and let's dive straight into it. This video is brought to you by the Signs of Life Patreon. Discover tutorials for all skill levels, as well as full track walkthroughs and track breakdowns, over 100 preset and sample packs, and the Signs Circle Group for track feedback and support. And I also offer personalized one-on-one ambient coaching. Well, what are you waiting for? Sign up today and join us. The link is down below in the description. What is going on, guys? Chris here from Signs of Life. Welcome back to the channel. In today's quick tip video, we are going to talk about the art of the cluster delay, or the delay network. This is something that I've been using for a while now in my own work, especially with my partner Don as Ascendant. But I thought it would be kind of a cool trick to show you if you're tired of the same old dotted eighth note delay that you use on every single track. Delay networks can be a really great way to add some extra spice to your track. They certainly don't have to be the basis of your track, but you can use them for a bunch of creative things. And, you know, it could just add a whole nother side of your work that you never even explored before. So I'm going to show you how to do it from just using stock plugins, basically from scratch. And then I'll show you how to do it in some third-party plugins, which are quite good at creating delay networks. And then I'll also show you how to do it on a send effect as well. So anyway, that being said, thanks for being here, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so you can see here that I've got a little demo track, just kind of playing, a little bass note here, nothing crazy. This is a patch from Ancient Technology 4 called The Point. All right, and then a simple lead pad here. I think this was from one of the chromatics, maybe chromatic 3 or 4, leveling frequency. So that's not really the star of the show here. The star of the show is what we're gonna be doing down here, okay? So before we even start, let's talk about what a delay network is, all right? I've got a little diagram here for you, and let me go ahead and open that up, and it's right here, okay? And the art of stacked delays. Okay, and maybe that's what I'll call this video. So how it works, by creating two delays in a series, you create what's called a delay network, or as I called it, the cluster delay, right? And this is what happens when you run one delay into another, okay? Such is the case. Here, we have delay number 1 is a dotted eighth note, which is what we normally run, at least what I do in my own work. But then, as an insert effect, you run a second delay directly after that. Now, what that does is it creates a network. And, you know, there's lots of great third-party plugins that can also do this, which I'm going to show you. But, you know, if you haven't done this before, it's a really cool trick, because what happens is the first delay, you know, goes into the second delay. And if you set the settings on the second delay correctly, then you kind of get these delays that are kind of pinging off each other, and they're creating this sort of network effect because your delays are being delayed. And if you get the timing right, like it shows here as the dotted eighth and dotted 16th, it can be extremely rhythmic and can really add a lot of spice to your track, right? So again, interlocking rhythms, smaller gaps between the echoes, you know, it can kind of create these dense evolving patterns. And you know, this could be not just the dotted eighth and the dotted 16th. You can use it for a bunch of different times, right? So let's talk about this. All right. So let's go ahead and just do the straight up from scratch method. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and turn these off, and I'll go ahead and just play this. This is a basic sequence coming from Stepic here. All right, really basic. Okay, and it's running at 16th notes. Just want to make that clear. It's going into pigments here, and I think this is just a simple patch called Edge of Eternity, right, from Chromatic. And it's basically got no effects on it, zero, nothing, right? So here's the first delay. And this is our classic Sines dotted 8th note delay, all right? You know, you can run the delay as an insert effect, you can run it as a send effect, I'll show you the send later, but this is just how you might do it in the DAW, right? And the key to this trick is not just running 2 delays back to back, but the key is the second delay has to be some sort of multiple to the first delay, or set at a different rate, obviously, but then it also has to be a lot darker, because if the second delay is super bright, you're gonna get all these, you know, extra echoes that are kind of pinging off each other. But if you make it nice and dark, then your echoes start trailing off into the void. It's really cool. So here's the first delay. The second delay is going to be a dotted 16th note. Again, you could use your stock plugins in your DAW. I'm just using Valhalla Delay because it's super easy to use. But notice the mix here is at 24%, and the EQ is set all the way down around 6,000. Okay, so this is very much what I would call a dark delay, right? It's got some color settings here, very low feedback, very low mix. But watch what happens to the effect. So when we got our regular delay here, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the Valhalla delay. Let's go ahead and activate this now. Oh yeah, nice. Right, so you hear that. It's like a nice, networky cluster delay. I love it. I love it. Let's go back to the diagram. So you can see here, the dotted 8 is going into the dotted 16th, but because the dotted 16th is set darker and less mix and less feedback, you don't notice it other than the great evolving quality that it has, because now it's more dense. And again, we use this in Ascendant a lot, okay? So you can filter each delay stage. You know, you could maybe even do like a wet only on delay 1. And then you could slightly drift the second delay. There's so much you can do with this. This is just the tip of the iceberg, but I wanted to explain the network delay or the cluster delay to you so you can use it in your own work, all right? And again, I'm using dotted 8ths, dotted 16th, but you could try, you know, quarter notes and 16th notes, or you could try 8th notes and 32nd notes, right? Like there's lots of different combinations here. Interlocking rhythms, that's what we're going for, okay? Cool. So again, that's just your basic delay network. Now let's talk about some third-party solutions that can also do this, all right? So here's the third-party section. It's basically the same exact setup here. It's just the same setup, right? Okay, I'll go ahead and turn this one off. Now, the first plugin that came to mind, hopefully I don't have to log in here, is Beam, okay? And Beam is cool, because you can hear like Beam just like does this. You know what I'm saying? Like this is Beam's domain. You've got the dotted 16th. You can do divisions. I don't know why the interface isn't updating. Beam's kind of moody sometimes. You can add delay patterns to it, delay taps, right? So essentially that's exactly what it's doing. It's creating a network, and you can do all kinds of stuff like fade it, ping pong it, you can cluster them together. You can't do that in normal delays, right? That's kind of a unique thing to taps here in the Beam ecosystem. So that's an option for you. If you have Beam and maybe you haven't gotten taps and portals yet, you know, check it out. Like, that's one option for you. There's also Minimal Audio's cluster delay that does the same thing. But the one I'm gonna show you is over here. And this was my personal, like, the More Feedback Machine 2. Now listen to this one, all right? Let me just solo this. Listen to that. That's what I'm talking about, all right? So what makes this so good, let me just pause this. What makes this so good is the fact that it's got 4 delay lines, all right? And the 4 delay lines work with each other in that You could set each one on either side. So the left one here, you can see in one is going to the left. This is going to the right. And then we have another 2 delays here, left and right. So they're both panned. Okay, you could either have them go, you could run this as simply as possible. You could run it all as mono, or you could pan them left and right. But then you also have this matrix here, which starts creating these crazy, networks here. This is basically the whole thing behind the network delay. Zebra 3 also has a delay like this, but it's not even close to what More Feedback Machine 2 is. More Feedback Machine 1 was still a great plugin, but the interface has been totally cleaned up, and there's lots of great effects here. You can hear, this is the granular effect in the delay line. I want to make that clear. So like you're putting a granular sort of, effect in the delay line, and then I'm transposing it up a whole 12 semitones. Look, we drop it. You see, that's the effect. That's that granular effect. It's got its own compressor for each line, each set of delays here. Like that is just so good, so good. I mean, yeah, it's like, yeah. And that's, again, look, there's even a panic button right here, because you can get really crazy if you start turning up the feedback. It just gets wild, right? The feedback is set very modestly at 56, basically just 56% here. So that's an option for you, all right? More Feedback Machine 2, maybe you haven't even thought about it before. There's a bunch of LFOs here. We could run the LFOs on different things. You can set it to do whatever. You could you can set it to all kinds of stuff. It's rad, I love it. Anyway, that's More Feedback Machine. Now, if you're like me, and you're kind of like, a purist, so to say, all right? And you like your effects separated, you can do this trick with send effects, okay? And that's what we do in Ascendant. I just want to make that clear. We don't do this cluster delay stuff with Ascendant music. And it's not the same thing, and I'll show you why. It's because the delays are not going into one another. When you have 2 send effects, such as the case of, this first send effect here, I'm just gonna add some send effect here, and I'll go to my send effects. Let's go find them. This is the exact preset that we use, Berlin 2047, okay? This is just a straight dotted 8th note delay with a lot of feedback on it. That's it. Nothing outlandishly crazy, right? So if you add other delays, they're just gonna run in parallel. They're not gonna run on top of each other. They're not gonna feedback into each other, but you kind of get the same effect. But the bonus is you also get the cleanliness of your original signal. So here's another delay. And notice it's running at the same sort of speed, but this one's offset a little bit. You can see there's a little spread there. This is the binary experiential preset with a little different settings here. Spreads at 3, this is just a single delay. But then watch what happens when I add this final third delay, which I'm calling dotted 16th orbits here. And this is coming from Supermassive, which isn't, the first delay you'd reach for, but it's a delay nonetheless. You hear that? So now you're getting the Supermassive on top of everything else, and you still get that kind of effect where it's like, it sounds like a network, even though it's not a true network. But you also get the added bonus of, you kept the you kept the original signal, which is always a good thing to do. Anyway, so that's the art of stack delays. Again, quick tip video. If you haven't explored this before, I highly encourage you to check it out. I'll leave some links down below in the description for More Feedback Machine 2, and maybe even tap some portals if you want to check those out as well. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Hope this was very helpful for you guys. And thanks again for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below, or what's your favorite way to, do the cluster delay. Let us know. Comments. I'll see you guys down there. Take good care, and as always, keep your heads in the clouds and your feet planted firmly on the ground. My name is Chris from Signs of Life, and I'll see you guys in the next video.